Hello my dear students, welcome to computer science class. In today's video class, let us start with the new chapter, that is structures. So let us see what is the definition of structure. Structure is a collection of simple variables of same or different data types. Before we start with the structure, let us recall the definition of an array. Array is nothing but it's a collection of elements of same data type under the same name. For example, int a of 10, wherein a is an array which consists of 10 elements and all those 10 elements will have a same data type, that is integer. Whereas here in a structure, it's a collection of simple variable wherein the variables or the elements might be of same or the different data types. Whereas in case of an array, it's a collection of elements of similar data type. Here in a structure, it's a collection of simple variables. It might be a same or the different data type. And all these collection of elements, we actually can be called as data items, wherein they could be referred as members of the structure. Then let us move on to defining a structure. See, the process of defining a structure involves giving a structure name called as a tag, which specifies what data item it should have, the name of that data item, and the data type of each data item which has to be included in the structure. Now let me explain this one with the general syntax of defining a structure here. Look at this one example. This is the process of defining a structure wherein it involves by giving a name of the structure which we refer it as tag. And then we will list out all the data items that has to be included in the given structure by specifying its name as well as data type. This process we refer it as defining a structure. I repeat, defining a structure involves giving a structure name here called as a tag and then specifying the data items. It's a name along with its data type which has to be included in the given structure. This process we actually refer it as defining a structure. Now, what all involves in defining a structure? So, defining a structure begins with a keyword known as struct. Struct is a keyword followed by a structure name called as a tag. Now this keyword known as struct actually introduces the structure definition. Looking at this keyword struct, I will come to know that whatever further we have written, it is a structure. Then all these declarations of this data items are referred to as the structure members, or we can even refer them as the members of the structure, like member name 1, member name 2, member name n. These I can call they are the members of this particular structure, and these members of the structures are included in the braces. The list of all these members of the structure we actually refer it as a template. Then finally a semicolon will be followed by the closing bracket. This semicolon actually indicates it's a termination of the entire structure. I'll repeat. The process of defining a structure involves giving a structure name, called as tag, wherein the defining a structure actually begins with a keyword known as struct. This keyword actually introduced a structure definition. The list of all these, the data items, we actually refer it as members of the structure, where the members of the structures are enclosed in the curled braces. The list of all these members of the structure we actually refer it as a template. A semicolon will be followed after the closing bracket, wherein the semicolon actually indicates the termination of this entire structure. So this is a process of defining a structure. I hope children you are able to understand. This is for what is a structure. Give a general syntax of defining a structure. When this question is asked, you need to write the definition, plus you need to write this process, write the general syntax and give a explanation. I hope students you are able to understand. Now let us move on to the next topic here. Let us give an example of how to define a structure. We know just now we have discussed this is a general form. Now here comes an example like struct, which introduced a structure definition followed by a structure name. Here employee is our structure name. So therefore we can call this as a tag as well. Then here if you carefully observe, the ID number, the name, designation, salary, all these are the data items. Okay, all these are the data items. So otherwise we can also refer them as these are the collection of variables of same or the different data type. Look at this. ID number, its data type is integer. Name, its data type is char. Designation, it's char. Salary is float. Isn't it? I'm clubbing all these different variables of different data types into a single group called as a structure. This is nothing but this definition of a structure. Now, so ID number is of type integer. Now, all these we can even refer as the members of a structure. ID number, name, designation, salary. These are all the different members of the structure which belongs to a structure called as an employee. The collection of all these members of a structure we refer it as an template. I hope students you are able to relate it. Now herein the semicolon here will mark the termination of the structure. So they may ask you for 2 marks question. Give an example for defining a structure. In that case, you can use this particular example. Otherwise, you can give it as an employee. Employee will be having these data items as ID number, name, designation and salary. Similarly, you can give some other examples known as student. Student will has its data items like roll number, his name, his combination, his percentage, his contact number. So these are the few of the data items that a student structure can have. I hope you are able to understand. Let us move on to the next one. How many total number of bytes does a structure takes, the employee structure? When you observe here, we have an ID number of type integer 2 bytes and an character name as of character data type, and we know that the size of this name is 15 bytes, isn't it? 15 bytes here. So we know that each one of character will have of 1 byte, okay, size. Designation 10. Then salary is of type float. Float we know it's a 4 bytes. So how in the computer memory, how the memory allocation will be done is ID number takes 2 bytes, name takes 15 bytes, designation takes 10 bytes, okay, float takes 4 bytes. So total memory allocation which has to be done will total is 31 bytes for an structure called as an employee. But here some important thing we have to know that, see, the structure definition serves only the blueprint of creation of variables. That means what? When you define a structure, now this is a structure, right? When we define a structure, it just merely acts as a blueprint which will help you to create the variables known as ID number, name, designation, salary and all. It doesn't allocate any memory allocation for the definition of structure. Therefore, we refer it as a structure definition is merely a specification which will show how the structure variables could be defined. No memory allocation will be done when you write for definition of a structure. That means what? Like this, when you give an example for a definition structure, no memory allocation will be done. you are just telling the compiler that you are going to use the variable known as ID number of data type int, name of type char, designation of type char, salary as type float. But memory allocation will not be done. You are just telling the compiler your structure name is employee and you are going to use these many number of variables in the structure or the data items in the given employee structure. Then the question is, when does a memory allocation will happen for a structure? That we shall understand in the next slide here. That is declaring a structure or defining a structure variable. When does a memory allocation will happen is when we declare a structure or when we define a structure variable. Please make a difference. Previously we have studied defining a structure. Now we are going to study defining a structure variable or declaring a structure. When we create a structure variable, then only the memory allocation will happen to a given structure. Then what is a general form of creating a structure variable? Structure name followed by the variable. In our previous example, our structure name was an employee, isn't it? So structure name as an employee. Variable name could be emp1 comma emp2. Here I am declaring two variables. So employee1 and employee2 both are the structure variables that belong to an structure called as an employee. Okay. So herein we can combine both the definition as well as the definition of a structure as well as definition of structure variable. Both we can combine and write it in this way. Structure followed by structure name. List out all the members of the structure and then after you close a bracket, specify the structure variable name here as employee1 comma employee2. Then terminate with a semicolon. So this is how I am able to combine the defining a structure as well as defining a structure variable. Instead of writing it separately, I can just combine it. I hope you are able to understand. Now herein, a structure can have n number of structure variables. There is no limitation. Here I have created two. I could have created only one. Just for an example purpose, I have created two structure variables. Now, if you carefully think, this employee could be a manager, employee could be an assistant, employee could be just a normal worker, employees they might be, employee could be any admin staff, they could be any teacher or anything. So, the manager will separately have all this list of data items. Similarly, an assistant also might have all these number of list of data items. I hope you are able to understand. So this is how for a manager the memory allocation will be done for a structure, and for an assistant again this kind of memory allocation will be done. So some important points we need to recall here before proceeding to the next topic here. So the definition of a structure doesn't allocate any memory space. The definition in the sense the previous, only this one. See, until and unless you create this structure variables, once you just provide a merely the definition, no memory allocation will be done. You are just specifying to the compiler that you are going to use so many number of variables, and then a semicolon as per the previous slide. The semicolon is a must and should, which indicates the termination of this given definition of a structure. And then where we should write this definition of a structure, this definition of a structure should come either before the main function or before any other variables are being declared. That means when we write a program, you need to define the structure before writing the main function, or very soon after the main opening brace, soon after, before we declare any of the other variables in our main program, we need to define a structure. Okay, then the declaration of structure always comes after the definition. Declaration in the sense, now this is a declaration. This is a declaration. This declaration of a structure or declaration of a structure, defining a structure variable, comes only after when we define a structure. First we need to define, then after that followed by the structure definition will be, or the declaring a structure will be taken place. I hope you are able to understand. Moving on to the next topic, a very important one. Here, the members of the structure we cannot directly access. I cannot directly give the input to the ID number. I cannot directly give the input to the name, designation, salary. Neither I can directly print what the ID number, name, designation, salary consists of. With the help of the structure variable, we can access the members of this structure. Remember, when you define any structure like this, you cannot access the members of the structure directly. I cannot access the member. ID number is one of the member of the employee. I cannot directly read the value, or neither I can print the value what is there in the ID number. I have to make use of an structure variable. With the help of structure variable and with the help of the dot operator, I can access the elements of a given structure. Let us see that in the next slide here. See, accessing the elements of a structure. See here, the members of the structure could be accessed by the dot operator called as a member access operator. Okay, so see here, structure variable name. That is, for a previous example, employee 1 was a structure variable name, right? Employee 1 and employee 2. Now I'll just refer to the employee 1. So employee 1 is a structure variable name for the structure known as employee, followed by the dot operator, which is called as a member access operator, followed by which member you want to access out of ID number, out of name, out of designation and the salary. You need to clearly specify which member name you want to access. Okay, I hope you are able to understand. Moving on to the example here, so that you can have a clear glance on how we have to use the dot operator here. See, if I want to access the name, then I should write like employee 1 dot name with the help of an structure variable name followed by dot operator followed by which member name you want to access. Similarly, employee 1 dot salary. So as per this particular definition of a structure, how many variables, structure variables we have created? 2 structure variables. So similarly, how I am using the employee 1, the same way I can even use the another structure variable known as employee 2. Employee 2 dot name, comma, employee 2 dot salary. This is how you are able to access the elements of the structure. Now let me explain this one with the programming example. Then you can clearly understand how to use a structure and how to access the elements of the structure. Now here is a program wherein it will help you to input and display the information of a student. So as we know that the definition of the structure should always come after the main function or before any variables are being declared. When you carefully observe, so before any variables are being declared, I have written the definition of a structure here. And what is this structure name here that we are going to use here is our structure name is student. Now the roll number, name, combination, percentage, all these are the members of the structure. Then here itself I have created a structure variable here. So ST is our structure variable name. Now let us see how we are able to use to access the members of the given structure known as student. So after defining a structure, after creating a structure variable, I have used a clear screen, right? See out, I am asking to enter the name. Remember, if you are using a getLine function, we need to use the getLine function before the cin function. That is the reason why I am asking the first to user to enter the name. So enter the name. Since it's a character data type, so 15 bytes memory allocation will be done. So I hope you know how to use a getLine function. The general syntax we already know that. Cin dot getLine followed by the string name comma its a size. Now here What is our string name here? It is a name, isn't it? Name. But we know that we are able to access the elements of this particular structure only by the help of a structure variable name. That is why st.name, comma 15. This is how we have to access. We will be able to read the contents. What is the contents? Our input is being given by the user with the help of an structure variable. Similarly, I'm asking the user to enter the combination. With the help of getLine function only, I'm able to read the contents. So scene also you can read, but if it is encountering any blank space, then further the contents will not be read. Wherein the getLine function will read the entire string until it encounters any new line character or until the size of the number of characters matches with the size what we have specified in the given string. So that is the reason why we are using getLine function here. Scene.getLine. Now this time is combination. So st.combination, because here I didn't write the entire combination name here. What the variable name here I have used the same, we have to use it here also. So combination, what is the specified size? Actually it should be 4 here. So here I have made the changes. The combination is 4. After that, cout, enter the roll number. So to read a roll number, I have taken a data type what integer. So directly I can make use of cin function here. So cin st.roll number, enter the percentage, cin st.percentage. So these are the set of statements that would allow you to read the contents from the user. Next step is I need to print it, whatever I have read it, I need to print it. So cout. Before printing, I would like to have an endl here. I would have a new line endl. That means one gap I need. Then followed by I'm first printing the roll number. Look here, even at the time of printing also, we need to print it by using a structure variable. That is the reason st.roll number. I want each one, roll number, name, combination to be appearing in the new line every time. That is the reason I have taken here as an endl here. Then cout name is equal to st.name. Now here you need not to use any other function apart from the structure variable itself. So st.name, then cout combination, st.combination and st.percentage. This is how you are going to write a program by making use of structures. Now let me compile this. I got 0 errors. Let me run the code. See, when you run the code, firstly it is asking you to enter the name. So here I am going to enter the name, that is, I am going to enter here as Rajesh. Okay. And then enter the combination it is asking. So here I am going to enter the combination as PCMC. I am going to enter. Then see, herein enter the roll number and enter the name. It was stuck there. So I'm giving the input here, students. So just I'll give the input here, the name as Rajesh, and the combination here I'm going to give as PCMC. Previous input when I was giving, it was stuck. So I just executing it once again. Now here it is asking me to enter the roll number. Here I am going to enter the roll number as 123, and then here it is asking me the percentage. So I am going to enter the percentage as 89, and then look here, the roll number as 123, the name Rajesh, combination as PCMC, percentage as 89. So we are able to print all this with the help of using an that is dot operator, which is called as a member access operator, with the help of structure variable. This is how we are going to input and display the information of a student by using the concept that is structures. I hope you are able to understand. Let us move back to our PPT here. The last topic for today we are going to discuss, that is how do we initialize the structure. See, in our previous program we didn't initialize anything. In fact, we were asking the user. So herein instead of asking the user to enter the values for the members of the structure, here we are directly initializing with the help of an structure variable. So this is an structure called as an employee with the members of the structure or the data items, that is ID number, name, designation and salary. So how do we directly initialize the structure? Herein, by specifying the structure name followed by a structure variable, then by directly passing the value for the ID number here as 1234 followed by the comma. This comma actually indicates there are further data items that has to be read. Next is the name. Since it's a string here, that is array of characters, so we know that string it is a sequence of characters should be enclosed in the double quotes. That is the reason the name here Lakshmi is been enclosed in double quotes followed by again a comma operator. And here we have a designation. Again, since it's a data type is character, okay, with a sequence of characters, that is string. So it is manager is enclosed in the double quote. So designation here for this particular employee is manager and followed by his salary. Salary is again a float data type. So I am mentioning the salary here, and then after the last member structure, you need not to give any comma operator. That indicates those are the end of the data items to be read, and then followed by close the structure and terminate with the semicolon. This is how directly you can initialize a structure rather than asking the user to enter the input. Moving on to the next example here. Struct student. The attribute here, the variables are the register number, name, combination and percentage. Similarly, here also the initialization. The first you should specify the structure name followed by the structure variable. Here the roll number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 I have given, and then since it is a name here, so it's a string, that is the reason why it is enclosed in double quotes, comma. The combination here I have given PCMB and the percentage here I have given 98.5, and then I am terminating this initializing with a semicolon. So this is how you can initialize a structure. So that's all for today's class, students. Today we have discussed what is a structure, how do we define a structure, how to declare or define a structure variable, how we are going to access the members of the structure. We have seen this with programming example, and how do we initialize a structure. So further topics we shall discuss in the next video class. Till that, take care of yourselves, students. Thank you.